for joining us in BeeTv Global News Update at 12. I am Lee Bratesman Joanna. Now the news in details. Britain's national broadcaster has been shaken by the sudden resignation of its two top executives after a documentary editing scandal involving Donald Trump. The departures mark a major crisis for the BBC as it faces mounting scrutiny over impartiality and editorial integrity, the report.
The BBC has been thrown into turmoil following the resignations of Director General Tim Davie and Head of News Deborah Turners. The pair stepped down after revelations that a panorama documentary misled viewers by editing part of a speech by former U.S. President Donald Trump. Their resignation came amid growing criticism and accusation of bias that have shaken the broadcaster. A leaked BBC memo published by The Telegraph revealed that Panorama merged two parts of Trump's January 6, 2021 speech to make it seem as though he encouraged the Capitol Hill riot. The edited segments were more than 50 minutes apart, sparking outrage from political leaders and the White House, which branded the BBC 100% fake news.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Davie, who led the BBC for 5 years, said while the corporation continued to perform well, mistakes have been made and that he had to take ultimate responsibility. Turners said the issue has reached a point where it was causing damage to the BBC, but rejected claims that the network was institutionally biased. Their joint exit was the first of its kind in BBC history. The leaked memo's author, former editorial advisor Michael Prescott, also raised concern about bias in the BBC's coverage of the Israel-Gaza war and Tehran's issues. He accused management of ignoring warnings about systemic problems, adding to a wave of recent impartiality complaints and controversies. BBC chairman Samuel Shash called it a sad day and praised both leaders for their service. Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy thanked Davie for guiding the BBC through a period of significant change, while Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch said deeper failures still needed to be addressed. Liberal Democratic leader Sir Head Davie urged the broadcaster to turn a new leaf. The BBC board will now begin the search for Davie's successor, promising an orderly transition. The NED's Director General will face the challenge of restoring trust ahead of the 2027 Charter renewal as the broadcaster works to repair its image and reaffirm its role as Britain's most trusted source of news. Soher Osemeki reporting for BeeTv News.
El Paso, Texas, once crowded with thousands of migrants, is now quiet after President Donald Trump's border crackdown. Sites like the Sacred Heart Catholic Church and city shelters were once overwhelmed, now host only a few people. Arrests along the U.S.-Mexico border have dropped to a 50-year low, with just over 11,000 detentions in September. Officials attribute the decline to tighter asylum laws, the end of parole programs, and stronger cooperation with Mexico. Many shelters have closed, and migrants without valid work permits are leaving the country. Supporters in Texas say the change has restored calm and safety after years of chaos. Still, advocacy groups warn that many long-time residents with no criminal records are being deported. Communities with deep cross-border ties are divided, as some celebrate order, while others mourn families being separated. The debates over the human cost of Trump's immigration policies continues to intensify. The Philippines is battling the fury of Typhoon Fong, which made landfall in the eastern province of Aurora as a super typhoon, forcing nearly 1 million people to evacuate. The storm, locally called Uwan, brought winds of up to 185 km per hour and left at least 2 people dead as it swept across Luzon, the report.
Typhoon Fong has struck the Philippines, forcing the evacuation of more than 900,000 people and leaving at least 2 dead. The powerful storm, known locally as Uwan, made landfall in Aurora province on the island of Luzon late Sunday, with winds reaching 185 kilometers and gusts up to 230 kilometers. It weakened slightly after landfall but continued to cause widespread damage and heavy rainfall across the region. Authorities warned of life-threatening storm surges, destructive winds, and flash floods as the typhoon moved in parts of Luzon, raising fears of landslides and major flooding, particularly in Metro Manila. In the town of Guenobatan, landslides destroyed homes and forced residents to flee. Airports across central and northern Luzon were closed and nearly 300 flights were cancelled. The Coast Guard and local authorities carried out large-scale evacuations in low-lying and coastal areas. In Aurora, hundreds of families took shelter in sports centers and churches, many still dead just days earlier. Local residents described scenes of anxiety as the storm approached. Some families secured their homes with ropes and boards, while others left for evacuation centers carrying only essential belongings. Many of those sheltering had already lost property.
Former South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has been indicated on charges of abusing power and aiding an enemy state, connected his failed attempt to impose martial law last year. Prosecutors allege he tried to provoke North Korea to justify martial law, citing evidence from a military official's phone, referencing drones and surgical strikes. Yoon was removed from office in April and is already on trial for insurrection. The indictment also targets former Defense Minister Kim Yong-hoon and ex-military intelligence chief Yo Hee-hong. Prosecutors claim the three conspired to create tensions to support Yoon's martial law plan, including covert drones operations into North Korea. Both Kim and Yo face the same additional charges. Yoon insists he never intended military rule, saying the martial law declaration was meant to expose wrongdoing and protect democracy. North Korea previously reported South Korean drones over Pyongyang, but the military has not commented. Yoon could face the death penalty if convicted of insurrection and aiding an enemy state. Southern Brazil Paraná state late on Friday, leaving at least 6 people dead, 100 injured, and widespread destruction across the small town, the reports.
The storm, which meteorologists estimate carried winds of up to 250 kilometers per hour, struck the urban center of the municipality, home to about 14,000 residents. In just a few minutes, it leveled homes, ripped roofs off buildings, uprooted trees, and brought down power lines, leaving much of the town in ruins. Local authorities report that around 90% of Rio Bonito Iguacu suffered some level of damage. Among the victims was a 14-year-old girl, while more than 400 people sustained injuries, many requiring hospitalization. At least one person remains missing as firefighters and rescue teams continues to comb through the wreckage in search of survivors. Residents described scenes of terror as the tornado swept through. It sounded like an explosion. The sky went dark, and within minutes, everything was gone, one survivor told local media. The Paraná state government has declared a state of emergency and announced 3 days of official mourning. Emergency response teams, including firefighters, civil defense units, and federal personnel, have been deployed to assist with rescue operations and the distribution of relief supplies. Temporary shelters have been set up in schools and community centers to house about 1,000 displaced residents. Aid workers are distributing food, water, hygiene kits, and mattresses to those affected. Electricity and communication services have been partially restored, but full recovery could take weeks. Meteorologists say tornadoes of this magnitude are unusual in Brazil, particularly in the southern region, though they have become more frequent in recent years. Experts warn that changing weather patterns and rising temperatures could be contributing to increasingly violent storms. As rescue efforts continue, authorities are urging caution around unstable structures and downed power lines. The government has pledged support for reconstruction and rehabilitation, emphasizing that the priority is saving lives and restoring basic services. For now, Rio Bonito do Iguacu remains a community in shock, devastated by a disaster that runs towards the president's suite, adding to the night's mix of sports and spectacle. Trump also used the opportunity to speak about the commander's future, hinting at involvement in plans for a new stadium. They are going to build a beautiful stadium, that's what I'm involved in, and you're going to see some very good things, he said. The last sitting president to attend a regular season NFL game was Jimmy Carter in 1978. Trump's appearance marks another example of his effort to merge politics, entertainment, and public events in highly visible settings. While the commander's loss added a somber note for local fans, the night underscored how presidential appearances in sporting venues continue to blur the lines between politics and popular culture, with reactions as polarized as the nation itself. Harmony Agbafo reporting for BeeTv News.
While we go on a short break, to stay with us.
The Golden Gate Investments Inc. in partnership with the Edo State Diaspora Agency, Golden Gate Partners Limited, Bedell Healthcare, and Andrew Enofe Real Estate invites you to a Business Investment Summit, an exclusive event for forward-thinking investors and professionals. Benin, date 8 November 2025. Venue, Clotier Hotel, 4th Central Road off Sape Road, Benin City. Time 10 a.m. Abuja, date 15 November 2025. Venue, Plateau Hall, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Port Harcourt, date 17 November 2025. Venue, Swiss International Hotel, 9 Mabisol Avenue, off Peter Odili Road, Port Harcourt. Time 10 a.m. Come and discover how to earn US dollars while in Nigeria and secure your pathway to Canadian PR through business investments, combining wealth creation with immigration opportunities. We will connect our global investors to high-performing real estate-backed opportunities designed to deliver consistent returns, financial growth, and lasting impact. Minimum investment is 50,000 USD. To register, log on to theGoldenGateInvestments.com. For more information, please call 0814-823-8210.
The heartbeat of culture, fashion, music, and entertainment is about to take over Benin City as we gear up for the Edo Carnival 2025 from December 21st to 27th. Garrick Memorial on Ekenwa Road will come alive with 7 days of extraordinary excitement. From dazzling parades, live music, and cultural displays to seminar, a beauty pageant, Miss Edo Carnival 2025, fashion shows, and so much more. Get ready to witness the pride of Edo, the spirit of our people, and the biggest celebration of culture this December. This project is proudly brought to you by Big Rendezvous Entertainment Global Limited and supported by Edo State Government.
Welcome back. Now to business news. The Niger Delta Power Holding Company, NDPHC, has called on high energy consuming firms to join its eligible customer program, which allows them to buy electricity directly from generation companies. Let's join BeeTv News Mohammed Zainab for more details.
The scheme, updated in 2024, offers industries access to 6 to 20 megawatts of power at flexible, cost-reflective tariffs. NDPHC said the move would help utilize its 2,000 megawatts stranded capacity, boost revenue, and ensure more reliable power for industries. Managing Director Chinedu Adihiji noted that the company is shifting towards bilateral power sales to improve liquidity and reduce dependence on the centralized electricity market, which faces persistent financial challenges. Power distributors' revenue rises 43% to 1.5 trillion naira in 8 months. Nigeria's power distribution companies increased their revenue collection by 43% to 1.5 trillion between January and August 2025, up from 1.05 trillion recorded in the same period of 2024, according to the data from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. The Commission's commercial performance report showed that the 12 distribution companies jointly collected 553.63 billion naira in the first quarter, 564.71 billion in the second quarter, and 193.96 billion in July. An additional 191.11 billion was collected in August, bringing total receipts from the 8-month period to about 1.503 trillion. In comparison, the firms recorded 291.62 billion, 431.16 billion, 162 billion and 168.7 billion for the corresponding months in 2024, totaling 1.0
1.53 trillion. Expert calls for creation of infrastructure finance bank. Industry leaders have urged the federal government to establish a dedicated construction and infrastructure bank to provide long-term affordable financing for national development projects. The call was made during the 2025 annual conference of the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, Nigerian groups, held under the theme Building for 300 Million. Participants stressed that Nigerians' projected population growth to 300 million demands urgent investment in sustainable.
Popular comedian and content creator Ree Warri-Pikin and her husband, Ikechukwu Asaoha, has welcomed their third child, a baby girl. Also, John Bon Jovi announced 2026 Forever Tour becomes grandfather. Let's join BeeTv News Evelyn Izibili for more details.
The announcement was made on social media, where the entertainer shared a family photo introducing the new addition. The couple's growing family has attracted widespread congratulations from fans and colleagues across the entertainment industry. Known for her humorous and relatable lifestyle content, Ree Warri-Pikin has consistently shared glimpses of her personal life, including her pregnancy journey. The arrival of the baby marks another joyful milestone for the family. In another development, Nollywood actor Peter Ijagbemi and his wife Fola Jogun Akilami has welcomed their first child, a baby boy. The couple recently returned home with their newborn after the safe delivery. Ijagbemi expressed gratitude for the successful birth and shared his joy at his commitment to raising his son with strong moral and spiritual values. The news has drawn warm congratulations from fans and fellow actors, joining a growing list of Nigerian celebrities celebrating new arrivals this year. Actor and musician Charles Okocha and his wife Mimi Okocha has celebrated their first wedding anniversary. The couple marked the occasion with photos and messages shared online reflecting on their 1 year of marriage. Friends, fans, and colleagues joined in congratulating